consistency for what he goes for. And meanwhile, Protoman, a much more consistent player, a move up from D2 2 seasons ago, and overall like goes for a lot more conservative strats. Not quite as well versed in the game as D, but very consistent at what he does. Very consistent with his finishing time. So it'll be interesting to see which of these two attitudes ends up winning tonight. Dwhatever we have seen have some just slightly awkward races just whenever he's not feeling super great. As we can see here, D with a 3-1 record, Proto though with a 0-4 record, definitely itching for a win, but has had just a tough schedule to go ahead and start out this season. But we'll see what each of these players is able to do. With a nice enough win, D can definitely propel himself to the top of the standings to end off tonight. So we're off. I'm Electric, and I'm joined in the booth for this race yet again by Doom Guy Fieri. How are you feeling before the last race this evening, my man?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to see these two race. Just like last race, a world record holder versus, like you said, I guess up and coming, kinda be the word. Probably not the best choice, but the one I'll pick for now. To see these two kinds of runners face off, I'm excited because, again, these races can go either way. So I'm excited to see how it works out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the finish is never truly certain. Like there's always the chance of huge mistakes. This game is very unforgiving, and if you let it, it will punish you very severely. But let's see, Lakitu skip perfectly fine from both players. Dwhatever gaining just a smidgen of time due to using the super optimal jump diving setup. As both players now moving on into BOB for bomb clip. And D actually setting up camera for Island Hop. A very interesting decision to start out this race. Island Hop saves 4 seconds on castle movement. This strat for this star is actually a bit slower than the sky jump strat, but since you don't have to re-enter BOB, it is a little bit faster. We will be having a bit of a desync in our players' routes because of this. Protoman is not going to get this star until after he's got the wing cap, so after Dark World is when you're going to see the routes converge. Dwhatever is going to move right on over to CCM, whereas Protoman does have to return to BOB. But that's big. And now, kind of interesting, Protoman in the past has gone for the Womps 8 route, where you skip over the secret slide first entry and just go to Womps and do both slides just back to back afterwards. It does lose a second, and the route is a lot more common for PB attempts. You use it because it gets you to Womps faster and lets you reset in Womps faster if you need to. So Protoman used to historically go for that Womps 8 route, but looks like he's decided to go ahead and take the extra 1 second of time save by going for Womps 9 instead. So kind of an interesting, juicy match already, as someone in chat said. I mean, this race, both players using routes, one player that we haven't seen from them before, and another player that we just haven't seen in races, period. Dwhatever just popping off already in this race. So we'll see what's coming up, but this is already an incredible start for D.
Yeah, this already has me more excited. Seeing him break out Island Top is just insane. I mean, it's such a hard strat, and he made it look so easy, just breaking it out right at the beginning of a race. I was saying, that Protoman missing that dive across, that's got to hurt. Going to back it up with a Wild Blue.
It always sucks to miss cannonless, but not actually like have an attempt at it. So like you mess up the movement leading up to your first ledge grab. So you don't even get a true cannonless attempt. You just have to take the backup star. It always hurts. And so to expand a little on why Island Hop is so hard, you have to have a first frame wall kick in order for the strat to work. You have 5 frames on every time Mario touches a wall to actually wall kick. But the 2nd through 5th frame act relatively similar. They just cut Mario's speed by a fraction and then send you away from the wall. But the very first frame behaves a little differently and can actually give you more speed whenever you leave the wall. So for that strat, you long jump and immediately get a first frame wall kick, so you have a bunch of speed going into that jump dive, so you're actually able to clear the gap. If you don't get a first, you don't have the requisite speed. And so, like, we talk a lot about Pillarless being super hard, and Pillarless involves a frame-perfect bomb grab that has a somewhat consistent visual cue with you being able to look at, like, the Bob-Omb's feet, for instance. But for Island Hop, you're getting a first frame wall kick which like depth perception in this game can very easily be a problem. So actually like being able to tell when that frame is going to come can be somewhat difficult whenever you're trying to learn that trick. So there's a lot of nuance to it, and there's a reason you don't see many people do that in a run, especially because even with the first frame wall kick, you can still mess up the like later dive, and it is huge time loss if you miss that trick. But both players moving their way through 100 coin pretty reliably. Dwhatever with a little bit of mess up, so we're gonna have to go for half cycle here, but still gonna be fine. Not losing too much time overall. And he did do pro cycle, so this is already fairly close to the movement you would normally do for half anyway. So overall, D doesn't really have a ton to be upset about with this. It is a little time loss, but not as much as it could have been. So Proto now with chip off Womp's block. And with a pretty breezy triple jump there, not going for the fence clip triple. Just going for, like, again, pure consistency on that strat there.
Yeah, the consistent strats to cut your time down is something we've seen a few runners in this league do. The first and biggest that comes to mind is Puncation. He also has that mindset of doing very consistent, though fast strats, so that if his opponent makes a mistake, he is then able to capitalize on that mistake. Proto, I think, kind of follows that same mindset of, I don't have to be the fastest right now, I just have to be the fastest at the end of this race. And so by doing more consistent and safer strats, it kind of helps guarantee that in a way.
Yep, absolutely. It's now D moving his way through the Womp fight here. Super optimal get up. Like, one big thing you have to contend with when you fight against D, and this is something that definitely like will affect your mentality, is having to think about how optimally D does everything. It's more than just the strats that D does. His movement is also just incredibly well optimized. Going up to that Womp, for instance, if you notice, he took very specific movement, jump diving off the very top of the slope without taking the slide down, taking his dives very particularly towards the Womp. Like, and that's something that can get into your head, thinking to yourself, I have to do everything on the razor's edge because D's doing everything on the razor's edge. But when you're not quite as well practiced, that can very quickly go wrong for you. So you have to fight that mentality and not let yourself get so obsessed with cutting every corner until you eventually end up cutting one too close and failing and losing more time. But anyway, a little calm before the rest of the storm coming up. Proto with slide. I think this will be a 12-8 from him. And 12-9, just a little bit off script. I think D is going to end up with a 12-6, though.
I will say 12-7 for D.
And we do have someone in chat noticing the Protoman strat of using the owl for the normally owl-less star. And that does only lose about 4 seconds or so, mainly just due to the lag that the tower in the background is causing. Protoman's got some pretty decent flying so far. His arcs are pretty clean. I'm getting some nice dips. That was some pretty solid flying overall. But D, though, just super consistent with his flying. Like, he does things that you don't really think should be possible, and then you sit down with a controller and grind enough and realize, oh, hey, I can get this 1 out of every 100 attempts. But this guy's just doing it consistently every time.
Yeah, D even hitting that rollout off of the button from flying, which we saw that earlier, I believe, as well in a race. That's one of those things that it's a small strat that saves time, and like you said, D is, to say the least, there's a reason why he's the 70-star world record holder. He is consistent. He goes for the strats that save time when he needs to. It is... I feel like every time he starts a race, he really puts on a clinic for this is what Super Mario 64 looks like at the very top level.
Definitely. That's definitely fair. I also got to point out Protoman with a beautiful Shig save on his way through the green block road. He almost got boffed by an amp, but delayed a jump dive in a particular way to make sure that he wasn't going to. D also having to back up for this coin, missing 2 rotating platform cycles. Got to be frustrated at that. You can see him kind of laughing it off, though. And beautiful double firsty movement from Dwhatever there. Wow. Joyful Clover, Dwhatever does have the 70 world record. It's a different category from the 120 star world record that Cheese has still to this day. But Dwhatever took the record from Puncation, who had taken it from Tago, who had taken it from Cheese. So you can say that he took the world record from Cheese, but he wasn't the direct competitor that was superseded, if that makes sense. And like as Doom Guy was saying earlier, with like just demonstrating how much of another level Dwhatever's on, like there's a reason that his PB with a missed throw is still 12 seconds faster, like over 12 seconds faster than Punkation's best effort, even with like the full best possible Bowser fight. Like Dwhatever right now is to this game what Cheese was like 3-4 years ago when Cheese was the only one with a 47 and 70.
Gamble Mountain, to answer your question, technically you can get any 70 stars to complete a 70-star run, but of course there is a specific set that is the fastest that has been developed over the years from the community just pouring pure work hours into it.
Yeah, it's not like Sunshine where there are very specific shine sprites that have to be completed for the game to be completed in the end. In this game, it's any 70 is fair game as long as you get to Bowser without BLJs or Mips clip. Dwhatever with a really weird ledge grab there. You could kind of see the confusion on his face from that. You know, it's not mandated so that like more beginner competitors, like honestly myself, can actually be on the same leaderboard. Like the route I do is a very far cry from this route. Like I don't even do TGZ 100, for instance. I certainly don't do Island Hop, like different things like that. And even though like at the end of the day, I'm getting a lot of the same stars, there is a bit of a difference in the route. So there's no reason to mandate something like that when it'll be very clear what route you're using based on what time you're able to get.
Yeah, and as an example here, I believe D is going for CCM 17, and it looks like Proto is going to do CCM 18. So we'll actually see a difference here, if I'm right, in the route these two runners take.
And the difference in timing for this is actually a very like subtle difference. It's in the realm of like only a few seconds, depending on what form of plus you do. If you do double Tama plus, you are saving a lot of time, but if you do like both standard pluses, you're honestly only saving like a couple seconds, I think. So now Dwhatever, bringing the penguin back to its mama. Okay, for a split second there, because of the jump Dwhatever did, it halfway looked like he was gonna like drop the penguin off the edge, like that Twitter video he made. I was gonna like start screaming if he did that. Because it loses like at least 5 or so seconds, but it's such a beautiful strat that I just wish beyond anything would be applicable in a speed run. Like, if SMO gets categories like nipple percent, we deserve death penguin star percent, where the goal is just get the penguin star while also killing the penguin. Fair enough. I can't speak as to whether it was actually discovered by accident, but it was discovered by Tama. Okay, if that meme category were a thing, it would actually be really hard because you would have to do CCM BLJ for it to be optimal. Like, you can actually LBLJ into many stages in the lobby, but they are very hard to do with any degree of consistency.
Dwhatever moving through BBH pretty well.
And we got Protoman with a save and quit. Oh no.
Yeah, having to go back into the castle, that hurts. It's very easy, kind of in the heat of the moment, to accidentally hit save and quit, and I mean, when you do, it's just a straight time loss. So, not really anything you can do about it once you've done it, sadly.
Yeah, and before finishing up with CCM, that's a really rough point to have a save and quit like that. There are a couple points where it's not quite as bad, like for instance, after Fire Sea or after HMC, it's not the end of the world, or after SL. But like a lot, if you were to do it while in the middle of HMC, that is the worst possible time to save and quit. It takes the longest to get back. So Protoman now moving over to BBH for his first visit as Dwhatever, just now getting in the basement for his double pluses. Let's see if he's able to get some nice attempts going here. So as we explained in the last race, you're trying to get a frame-perfect bomb regrab here so that the bomb's hitbox intersects with Mario's. Beautiful Tama regrab for hands-free, and then just such clean execution. I have no time to even talk about what happened. Just everything about that was on point, perfect.
Yeah, that was an absolutely amazing Tama Plus coming out from Dwhatever. Protoman fighting Big Boo, King Boo. Not really sure, to be honest. Up on the top of the house. Gotta be careful here. If you fall down, then you just gotta work your way back up, and it hurts to see. Dwhatever with another really good plus.
And the worst part is that it completely resets the Boo fight if you aren't finished with it. So if you've gotten 2 hits, but then you fall off the roof, you then have to get 3 more when you get back up. But yeah, just super clean pluses. D having a little bit of an issue with Pyramid Secrets, but it's negligible to talk about. The rest of that was just gold. And Protoman's going to be working his way down to SSL for his own single plus. More than likely, we're going to see the standard plus setup rather than Tama. And the Fly Guy not participating at all with Dwhatever. The Fly Guy just saying, you know what? No, I don't want to be bopped today.
Yeah, he came over to say hi, and sad to see.
That's just a thing that can happen. I'm pretty sure that's just straight up RNG. I don't even think D did anything wrong. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I definitely don't think that was D's fault, because that was just that Fly Guy was too close for that to be anything other than RNG. I refuse to be a victim. Yes, exactly. That's what the Fly Guy said there.
Dwhatever up the side of the pyramid, grabbing the star. That's another star that it's a very simple star to get. As I'm saying, this Proto, sadly not getting that bomb regrab, gonna have to go over and get this star as a backup.
We're going for Talon. Okay, very, very nice backup there. He got bopped by the side of the pyramid before he was able to actually jump, and so he had to hold back on the stick to make sure he hit the slope again. But yeah, that top of the pyramid star is very easy in theory, but there's a little bit of nuance to how exactly you dismount the sandhill and how you go up the pyramid. You want to have your angle perfect when you're dismounting the sand slope here, so that you don't have to do any adjustment on your way to the pyramid. Any adjustment of your angle slows Mario down a lot. So, like, if you can get the perfect angle off the sandhill, like, you're golden. Except that fence that, like, we saw in 2 races ago, Drogi actually ledge grabbed on. That fence is kind of in your way. Like, if you wanted an absolutely perfect angle, that fence shouldn't be there. But because it is, like there's a lot of optimization that goes into that if you're not doing it, you can easily lose a second just to slowing down on your way up the triple.
Protoman finally nailing plus as Dwhatever gets into the volcano for lava boost.
Beautiful pro boost. Let's see the ending. Oh, a nice pro ending too. Oh, yeah, what a nut.
Dwhatever is really pulling out all the stops here.
You never see people go for that lava boost in races like this. Like, long jump boost is literally just you put the stick in a certain notch based on what time it is. But then pro boost, you're actually having to do very slick, smooth movement between notches as you're going up the lava fall. Like, if I remember right, you hold up left when you hit, but then you have to transfer from that to up right. And it has to be a smooth transition. You can't just pop over at some point. And then once you hit upright, then you burn a second time and then have to go to down right. Like, it's much more precise, and it's the movement rather than the positions that are very important to hit. So doing that over long jump boost in a race when, like, you know you've got one shot at this and you don't get to just reset if it doesn't go well, that is hugely courageous to go for.
Protoman having some trouble getting into the air there. Looks like he finally managed to get up and over that fence. Dwhatever bullying the bullies. One refused to be a victim, but Dwhatever did not care whatsoever.
Yeah, just it got to live for about half a second, and that was it. Oh, EBM, I think I know what you're talking about, and that probably wasn't audio filters. My voice just gets to a very bad place at the end of the night, and I don't understand why. But it starts sounding like I've been Marlboro's most loyal customer for 50 years once it gets past like about 9 p.m. Dwhatever with elevator tour now. Super clutch. Very nice. That start can be a little weird too, especially while learning, because like you have to jump off the pole at a very particular time, dive from the jump at a very particular time, and if you don't get that rollout reliably timed, you can very, very easily end up like pushing like Mario too far to where he like hits the next platform's edge and then falls straight down to the lava.
Yeah, kind of a theme you might detect when talking about Super Mario 64 speedrunning techniques is there's so much nuance in pretty much everything. There's just so much optimization that's been done on this game over the years that, you know, like you said, just a very slight modification to how you're doing something can result in success or failure.
Yep.
So it's really hard to show just how skilled both of these runners are in doing these tricks.
Like the easiest way to understand is to just do it yourself. Like it is a little bittersweet that that's really the only way to truly appreciate the skill level of these runners. But like I know me personally, I definitely underestimated just how skillful this game was until I picked up a controller and started it myself. Like, you spend multiple years just to get to a fraction of the point that these guys are at. Like, it takes years to even get yourself to a 49 or a 48 PB. So, like, it is immensely difficult to run this game. There's so much that you have to learn. And that's even with, like, all the amazing resources that are available now. When these guys started, like, especially when someone like Dwhatever started, like, 5+ years ago, there wasn't, like, a wiki full of videos of every star and every strat. Like, you had to figure out stuff yourself, maybe watch, like, 1 or 2 other Twitch streams, and Dwhatever having a lot of trouble with his front sub, having to just figure this out himself on the fly right now, but he does finally get it on the 3rd attempt. But yeah, like, it just trying to think of like the state of the game when these guys had to learn it themselves. It's ridiculous that they're at the level that they are now, considering how hard it is to get anywhere near this level, even with great practice tools. All right, so Dwhatever done with the Manta Ray Star. Proto finishing up with Chess. Gonna be going to the sub himself in just a moment. As D with Fire C now.
I'm interested to see Dwhatever's Fire C. This is such a tight level.
Yeah, and it's really nice how with the new box movement, there's actually a lot more leeway of like what exactly you can mess up on and still make lava boost. It's not like before where like very simple, very basic movement errors could cost you. Like at this point, you do have to make a somewhat major bobble. Even if that bobble is like not getting a quick turnaround, like that can still cost it, but it's not like before where just like getting too many dusty rollouts could potentially cost you lava boost. But
Yeah,
very, very clean boost from D. That was super, super in.
Yeah, I remember when the new, in air quotes, movement there was found. It was just, you know, like it's such a small thing, like you rub against the side of that box. Like the change itself isn't huge, but the results make it so different.
Yeah, like it makes lava boost possible without having to use all the like it even led to other strats being used in other parts. Like I think Protoman does this. Yeah. You see Protoman doing this long jump into a burn. I don't think that would have worked with the other lava boost box movement. Like that loses a little bit of time compared to the double wall kick that Dwhatever did. Now Protoman with that ground pound definitely, yeah, especially with that dusty rollout losing lava boost, but early Ellie's is still on the table. Oh, but missing the rollout there. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, no, not quite enough height.
Yeah, couldn't quite get up there. Dwhatever finished off Bowser, looked nice. He's heading upstairs. Protoman, meanwhile, gonna finish up Fire Sea. Getting burnt there, makes it to the platform though, so no problem. Oh, getting
was
bonked.
trying for the bad ending, but ending up having to go for a very, very scuffed pro ending. Yeah, just gonna have to take the wall kicks up, not going over the side again. All right, now
Yeah.
D coming on out with wet dry roll 100. No double though, just a single double box break.
Protoman down the funnel, gonna be fighting Bowser. Dwhatever collecting secrets, trying to get 100 coins in Wet Dry World. Missing a Bowser throw here is very punishing. Oh, and Protoman taking a dive into the lava.
He always does that, and I don't understand why. It's so pointless, and I swear one of these days he's gonna like forget that he's at low health for some weird reason, and he's gonna do that strat and immediately regret it. Oh, Dwhatever having just a little bit of weird movement there. I think like partially because of some muscle memory mishap. I'm not sure exactly what happened to him there, but either way, the result not too great. And also taking just a very awkward camera angle there in order to reduce some more lag. That's one thing that I'm not sure I totally agree with in D's playbook is he goes for certain lag reductions like that make movement very awkward, and I don't feel like save very many frames of lag. Like when you get to the top of the town in that area with the camera facing that way, it is a little laggy, but I wouldn't think of it anywhere near like even the cage and elevator tour or express elevator, sorry, where like you do go into a C up cam to reduce some lag there because without it the top of the cage gets very laggy. But like when you do the C up cam, it isn't laggy really at all. And so like that Proto got another saving quit. What? I am so sorry for Proto at this point. That may have been intentional given it was after Fire Sea, but even if it was, it still lost him a second or two. So I don't really feel like it could have been. D just chugging all along in wet dry though.
Yeah, it seems like Protoman's having a bit of a tough time during this run. Just you know, getting the simple things down in a way of, you know, making sure you don't save and quit, making sure that your fundamental movement is as smooth as can be. Protoman having a bit of trouble here.
You know, let's see what 100 coin looks like for Protoman. Already missing his safety coin at the very start of the route. That's not fortunate at all.
Yeah, Wet Dry World 100 is pretty tight on missing coins. So missing that right off the bat is hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. Dwhatever collecting secrets in Tiny Huge Island, moving through them pretty smoothly. Gonna be jumping across to the island. Gets the grab and gets the star.
Very nicely done from D. Oh, okay, TGC. So that was definitely just he thought that an A press had registered for continue without saving, and then like it's tilted the stick up to move back where he wanted to go. And so that's a very awkward thing that can sometimes happen. Now, Proto, kind of an unfortunate mistake there. He's gonna have to definitely swim down for the secret star now. Oh, barely managing to hit the long jump over there before he would have had to swim for it. Nice.
Yeah, managed to dip just enough into the water to grab it. Dwhatever. He's about to go eradicate some piranha plants. Oh, had a bit of a long jump mishap there.
And what a brutal way of plant extermination too. Just kick the heck out of a plant until it just isn't a plant anymore. Like that's I feel like if I called an exterminator and they came out like that, I'd be looking for a number of someone to call, like some type of plant advocacy group or something. It just doesn't seem like
this. I tried this in my yard and all I got was weird looks from my neighbors. Guess they weren't Mario fans.
Yeah, all I got was dirty shoes and a bunch of clumps of like torn up grass. Oh, Protoman walking over the edge when trying to set up his triple jump there. And I think, oh, I'm pretty sure he also hit that diamond there, which I think actually raises the water level so that like you can't run on the ground anymore. It won't matter for top of the town though, fortunately.
Yeah, Proto just gonna take the long way around. Dwhatever getting breezeless.
Clean. Pretty sure stomping a plant until it isn't a plant anymore is how wine is made. So I guess that's why I don't like wine then. Oh, here we go with D with reds, just wilding out. The speed kick, the jump roll out, the triple wall kick, and finally the side flip. Oh, that was even cleaner than Cheese's reds last race, and those were already super clean. Dwhatever with the smile on face cam.
Yeah, Dwhatever again, just putting on really a clinic for how Super Mario 64 is played at its top level. Just a very impressive run from all angles here from him.
Well, nice movement through that body of water. So this game is a little weird with how it handles Mario entering water. When you dive into a body of water, it snaps you to the top, then calculates how far down to put you based on what your speed was entering the water. So in the case of Mountain Clip, where we're entering a low body of water out of bounds and then trying to clip up to a high body of water, the most optimal way to do it is just to skim on top of the surface of the low body of water. So it snaps us to the top of the body. And then, so you can see D got it right there. So he hit the lower area of water. It killed his speed, snapping him to the top. But then he, with his forward momentum, clipped into the upper body of water and it snapped him to the top again, but while he still had no speed. And so he got immediately to the top of the surface of the water, didn't have to do any swims, just jumped right out. So it saves like, I think like 2 seconds or so over not going for that and just entering the top body of water with your jump dive speed. Proto having a little bit of an issue with the piranha bopping him, not going down without a fight.
Yeah, Piranha Plant's last stand there, trying to get one last shot in on Mario. Dwhatever taking the box across to the mushroom made it look easy. Again, that's a trick that if you have the wrong angle set up whenever you grab that box, then you're not getting to that mushroom. So making it look easy again when it really isn't all that easy.
And D having to go ahead and back up with deep freeze. Very clean backup. It's hard to line that up from just an arbitrary position in the stage. So you know he has to have like practiced that backup. Protoman not quite getting enough height for Breezeless to work out.
Oh, didn't even get into the alcove, so he's going to have to ride the breeze back up to the top and then try to jump in again.
Now D does get top of the snowman's head. I didn't see which exact strat he went for that, but I'm sure it wasn't penguin head. Oh, Proto missing mountain clip there. As D just casually pulls out a double speed kick at the start of that SL movement. Oh, Proto going for that jump off of the edge of the slope there, but not quite making it work out. So Proto with pretty clumsy reds compared to D's, but like it ultimately wasn't that slow. It's just D went so hard on reds that Proto really had no room to save any time. And also EBM, of course he did. I mean, that's what he does. I think
Proto
that's the new
getting mountain clip that time.
Analog wall kick from Proto, nice to see. Dwhatever swag is best swag. Okay, so now D going for Mips down in the basement.
Ooh, a bit of a weird entrance into the water there for Protoman and dived back down to the bottom of the mountain. That's gotta hurt, gotta work his way back up.
You're trying to realign for a mountain clip, but this is a very hard realignment to make. He's finally got it, okay.
D in HMC. Going for triple box jump. 1, 2, 3, up and over. Into the star. Looked nice. Proto to the top of the mountain, grabbing the star. Both these guys getting out of their respective stages.
Yeah, D has just forged an incredible lead for himself, just due to how much wild stuff he's doing. He's landing a lot of this crazy stuff that he's going for. All right, so Protoman moving his way into Snowman's. Dwhatever, though, just 2 stars left, separating him from Tippy.
Christmas miracle here for Dwhatever. See, gets up there. Over the wall, into the water. Will he get it? He did.
He's got it. Beautiful stuff there.
If you're curious why that is called Christmas Miracle, it's because before a very consistent setup was found for it, it was really a Christmas miracle whether or not you got it. Whether you got it or not, I should say.
Yeah, it's reliant on like some weird things, like the dive that you do towards the bottom, like somewhat helps, even though its main purpose is for like not taking damage when you hit the switch. It's just a very, very weird thing. Dwhatever with a super quick rage pause there looked like I swear I saw the pause text for just a moment. But very, very nice jump to the top of those boulders.
Protoman having some trouble.
Okay, so D is on some pretty nice pace right now. 39-14 up to go up to Tippy. Like that's pretty incredible. Well, let's see what final time he's going to end up with. So, yeah, I think for sure a 48 is still on the table for him with this run. And I think a 47 maybe? I'm not certain on that, though. Glitchy wall kick Lakitu bounce just for the boys. Let's go, D. But then misses the... Oh! That's disappointing.
Oh,
and then misses the red on the backup here.
Rainbow Ride
flipping
not
a bit too
starting
close.
off great for D.
And that's unfortunate because this is another star that he's a big fan of and has put a lot of time into. But some nice backups, though. Those could have gone a lot slower than they actually did. Especially when that side flip didn't actually wall kick. Backing that up with a double jump really quick was really, really clean. Well, let's see. This time around, he should be able to get that slide jump. It was literally, I think, just he probably hit a frame too early. And so, like, by the time he was able to react to not having jumped, it was too late. Mario was already off the platform. Okay, so Dwhatever is up there this time. Still the same, just wild Lakitu bounce setup. To quickly explain in layman's terms what a glitchy wall kick is and why it's so hard, when you wall kick, the game has what's called a referenced wall, saying that this is the wall you kicked off of, so if you approached this wall from this angle, this is your final resulting wall kicking angle. But there are certain situations when you wall kick on the very edge of a wall that's like on a corner with another wall, where you will physically kick off of one wall, but the referenced wall is the other wall on that corner. So what that results in is you get these weird kicks that look like basically opposite what they should be, because the game is calculating your angle not off the wall you think it is, but off of a wall that's in most cases like 90 degrees to that wall. So I don't know if this makes any sense, but basically if you kick on the very corner of walls, there's a chance, depending on like how the wall is set up, that you can actually get a kick in a direction like opposite what you're expecting. D taking a burn here, but very, very nice accounting for that, just taking a quick little circle around the edge there.
Yeah, besides those that first Lakitu bounce miss, Dwhatever had a pretty smooth Rainbow Ride going into TikTok clock now. Protoman, rocks didn't treat him great, but he managed to get up there, get the star. I believe he has one more star left before he heads out to Tippy.
Oh boy, watch this. D is wilding out on 100 coin right now. Already did a just insane wall kick during the red section, but here we go. Watch this triple. This is insane. I think Saxel was the one that came up with that, and D's been messing around with it, and he says it's like really easy and very consistent for him to go to the blue switch with that triple jump. This is just a pristine 100 coin. This just goes to show how many hours he's poured into this star. This is like a run killer for so many players, and he is just demolishing it. That beautiful diving movement over the triangles there. Like just, oh man, this is beautiful.
Yeah, we are really seeing Dwhatever put on something special here. Just breaking out all these nice tricks for a race setting is something you don't see a lot.
And that beautiful ending off the thwomp, like that was, jeez. D is just really feeling himself in Tippy at this point. He's definitely, look how close, like that is the level of optimization D is at. Look how close he was to getting random clock here. And he's going for moving reds now. Oh man, this is wild. Oh, okay, so missed one red there, but he's gonna be backing. Okay, not the cleanest backup, but still though, not losing a ton of time at least. This is definitely slower than like the normal time stop reds, but not by too much at least. He backed it up super clean though.
Yeah, moving reds is another one of those things that it is so difficult to pull off a clean moving reds, and even commit, like, because once you've done it, you really have to commit to it. So seeing D pull that out in a race again is just something that is, I don't want to say unheard of, but definitely you do not see that very often at all.
Yeah, it's super, super uncommon. Like, I mean, you have to, like, to show you the difficulty of that strat, like, keep in mind, every time you're entering the clock and you want it to be time stopped, you have to wait like 2 to 3 seconds for the hand to move to that point. And the time moving red strat itself is faster than what you can do time stopped. So thinking of those two things, like you are saving at least 4 seconds with the time moving strat that D did. Thinking of like how much people
Dwhatever getting all the way to the top.
And so Protoman, oh, Protoman getting denied Lakitu bounce by one surprise Spiny from the Lakitu right at the like pivotal moment. Oh, that's upsetting. That is, I'm so sorry for Protoman at this point. That was, oh man, what a mistake.
Rainbow Ride is really the, you see what can happen in Tippy when someone enters Rainbow Ride. There are just so many places to make mistakes. It's over the top.
I mean, it's like both Rainbow Ride and TTC are like just the worst stages for maximizing how bad a mistake is. Because Rainbow Ride is just an exercise in minimalism. There's just a bunch of sporadic platforms thrown about with nothing between them. So if you fall, you're dead. You're just falling into nothing. And then TTC being vertically oriented, there's almost nothing that will reliably catch your fall if you fall. And so, like, again, you're just losing insane time either falling to the bottom of the stage or just dying all out. So, like, and of course, with all of the, like, very, very particularly placed elements and the very special particular jumps we do, like there's a lot of room for an error to just lose you a ton of time. But D finally through TTC. He's through the gauntlet now, on his way up to pick up a quick 48. And beautiful bits movement so far. Like, that's just going for all out, like, Manamo movement. Oh, but missing the right. Nice backup there.
Yeah, I thought D was done for there, but managed to get that ledge grab and get back up and jump across up the getting bopped by the elevators, but back onto the platform it came from.
And that's such a weird way to get bopped by those elevators too. I haven't really seen that one before.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. Maneuvering around the Goomba, didn't want to get bopped off by that as well. Bowser in the Sky definitely just has a bunch of places where, again, if you make a mistake, you either end up tumbling to the bottom of the level or just into oblivion.
All right, and so Proto in TTC 100 already had a little bit of a slip up, getting that first triple wall kick. Oh, that's going to be a death there. Oh, man. As D pulls off his third throw for a nice, clean mid 48. What a nice time for a race.
Yeah, pulling off any kind of 48 in a race is a tough thing to do.
Especially doing so with the like ridiculous strats that D has been going for, that is just wild. GG's to D. We got Protoman still trying to get through 100 coin now. But the lead that D has forged is so major that I think Proto may actually be a little bit far out of point contention. But this is a pretty clean 100 coin coming out from Proto here. Oh, no.
Falling again.
So that side flip was at a weird angle. I honestly didn't think it would even contact the wall. And I think he could have gotten a wall kick off of that, but it was like, he was probably thinking the same thing that I was. That was really unfortunate. But at least taking another major fall, 2 health left.
Lining himself back up. Can't get up the clock.
That ledge grab on that yellow platform can be really stupid at the worst of times. Oh, and then the rollout is definitely going to kill. Oh, no.
Straight into the void. That's rough to see. Gonna have to work his way back in.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it from Proto. He knows that he's not really in point contention anymore. And given that you only get points for finishing within 5 minutes of your opponent, and you don't lose points for forfeiting after they're done, I think Protoman is probably just going to go ahead and take the L here. It's unfortunate, but things just happen this way sometimes. A really solid effort from Protoman, though. Just a few major mistakes plagued this run through the end, unfortunately. And Tippy just really didn't want to go well.
Yeah, and I mean, Protoman was up against, of course, again, the world record holder and just arguably the best Super Mario 64 player of the current day in Dwhatever.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly is not a stretch to call Dwhatever the best 70 runner at the moment. Like, that is an argument that can certainly be made and very strongly defended. But that is going to have to do it for us today. So stick around, folks, because we do have 24/7 speedrun variety content, and tomorrow we will be running a lot of different tasks and, of course, world record VODs on Wednesdays. Our Mario Maker tournament will be resuming back on Thursday. Going to be starting out with Dragon Feeney versus Mr. Mighty Mouse. So definitely check that out if you're into Mario Maker action. And of course, our Mario 64 League will resume again next Monday, starting with Cheese versus Rock Chalk at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard. So come check us back out then, or at any point during our weekly content. We'd love to have you around. And of course, all the runners that you saw featured today and on any day all have their own Twitch accounts that they're streaming on. So they, and of course us commentators, will always appreciate those follows. Finally, Doom Guy, it's been a pleasure coming these last couple races with you.
Same. I've had a really great time.
And with that, we're going to go ahead and close out our live content for the night. But thanks everyone for stopping by. Again, we hope to see you around sometime in the future. Peace out.
They are synced now. Dwhatever in the lead again.
Wow. Side for sure from Cheese. Okay, doing it moving. Oh no, the Cheese falls!